Hello. We are going to work our way through this Royalty Monthly magazine from March of, good question. I don't see the year. 1986, apparently. Oh, March 87, right here. Okay, so we're just going to work our way through it. I'm just going to be a little quiet because, to be honest, I'm laying on my bed and it just makes me quiet. So I got these at my local thrift. You can see that Timmy found it. Little bugger. And he did a little bit of work on it before I could get it away. All right, so Royalty Monthly. Philip and his sons, a family at war? Inside the Windsors' Paris mansion. What? And Sarah takes another, it's a bow, but bow. Fashion watch. This is a beautiful portrait of Diana. William's off to school. My apologies if you can't see it perfectly. Oh, I'm not actually very good at this, but here we are anyway. It's also not very bright. It's more just to hang out, right? All right, Portrait of a Princess. One of the outstanding exhibits in the National Portrait Gallery's Elizabeth II 60 Years of Portraits in this 1945 oil on canvas by Rodrigo Moynihan, which was first exhibited at the Royal Academy in 1947. Also in the exhibition is the same artist's new portrait of Her Majesty, painted 40 years after this youthful portrait. Aww. She does look lovely. Look, she dresses the same. All right. Royalty today. Another eventful month. No sooner had the dust settled on Prince Edward's decision to resign his commission in the Royal Marines than it was stirred up again when the Sun newspaper printed his father's letter to the Marines Commandant General. Buckingham Palace responded with the highly unusual resort of taking legal action, and one of the Duke's favorite charities is £25,000 better off as a result. Our own thoughts on the ripples that Edward's decision will cause within the royal family are expressed in this issue by the Times royal correspondent Alan Hamilton, and in our April issue, which will be on sale Thursday, March 19, Brenda Ralph Lewis begins another of her fascinating series. Topically, her subject is Sovereigns and Sons. Cover, The Princess of Wales by Terence Donovan of Camera Press. Apologies at how blurry this is, because I'm in low light. The Flying Duchess. Philip, who leaked? The Snood makes a royal comeback. The Shrine on the Bois de Boulogne. The Nanny vanishes. The Queen's Jewels. Royalty in Focus. Philip and his sons. So this is just a list of everything that's here. Oh, gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Are those flies? Look at all the flies. Can you see that? Boop, 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 boop. All over her hat. That is wild. In Focus, Princess Anne arrives for a royal gala performance at Sandler's Wells above. The princess as president of Riding for the Disabled, on a visit to one of the special pony clubs. Bottom, far right. This one. Presenting the British Knitting and Clothing Council British Apparel Export Awards in London, and a rare glimpse of the away day princess. Anne gets down to some paperwork on the train from Cheltenham to London. Here. Trying to figure out how to help you see them better. because my camera's upside down. I'll have to flip it in post. Concert-going royals. The Princess of Wales chose black and pearls for the British premiere of Polish composer Krzysztof Penderecki's Polish Requiem at the Artur Rubinstein Memorial Concert at the Royal Festival Hall. Above center, Princess Margaret attends a performance of The Nutcracker at Sanders Wells. It's right here. While Princess Michael returns from her Caribbean holiday, looking tanned and fit, and left King Juan Carlos and Queen Sofia of Spain. Is it this one? And ex-King Constantine of Greece attend the christening of Lord and Lady Romsey's daughter, Lenora, at Romsey Abbey. The Queen has a smile for well-wishers when she attended Sunday service at Hillington Church, Sandringham. The Princess of Wales, top right, arrives at Tadworth Court Hospital for Children in Surrey and, above, opening the new special unit for deaf and visually handicapped children at Whitefield School in London's East End. Top and left, Diana puts a young courtier at ease after he had done his duty when she visited the Dr. Bernardo's Community Day Center in Brixton. Remember her awful Brixton joke? But I think she was a lot younger. I hope. In the classroom with some of the children. The princess is president of Dr. Bernardo's. Far left, the striking combination of red and black for a more formal engagement at the Royal Society of Medicine in London. And that's this one. Oh my goodness. Diana takes a fresh look at the camera. The latest official portraits of the Princess of Wales, released last month, opposite and our cover, are the work of Terence Donovan, better known as a fashion photographer, but who joined the select band of cameramen chosen to photograph the royals when Prince Andrew, himself an enthusiastic and talented photographer, chose him for the pre-wedding portraits he posed for his then-fiancée Sarah Ferguson. The formality that tradition lays down for those pictures must have restricted East Ender Donovan, but they still impressed the Princess of Wales, so much so that when she wanted a set of new portraits, it was Donovan who was called to Kensington Palace. According to a palace spokesman, the princess decided she liked the pictures of the Duchess so much that she instantly chose Mr. Donovan. The two studies were taken in Kensington Palace last autumn. In the meantime, the princess's hairstyle has undergone several changes, but she has now returned to the original style. In the picture opposite, Diana is wearing a Cossack-style white blouse, and in the cover picture, an off-the-shoulder purple evening gown of crushed velvet. Andrew makes his debut in the Lords. The grand young Duke of York is 27 on 19 February and ready to dignify his title by his presentation in the House of Lords. It's a step which marks the growing maturity of the Queen's second son, whose popularity has greatly increased since his marriage last summer to the former Miss Sarah Ferguson. Now they are one of the world's best-loved couples, and Andrew is well on the way to losing his old playboy prince image and set to become lord of the manor. After months of fruitless house hunting, he has agreed to rent Chidduck Manor near Bridport. Owned by millionaire publisher Charles Weld, the manor stands in 850 acres of Dorset countryside. But the poor Duke and Duchess couldn't afford the £400 rent, and the palace managed to knock down bargain basement figure of £200 a week. The new lord and lady of the manor will move in on the 1st of March. The mansion is just a swift helicopter hop from Andrew's base at Portland, where he is to be second in command of 702 Naval Squadron. His current career phase will end in 1989, so the couple are sure to stay in Dorset until then. Andrew is to be weapons advisor to his squadron commander. That could involve short spells on a ship. As a Navy wife, Sarah feels she can cope with occasional absences, but dreads Andrew being sent away for months on end. However, the ambitious Duke may need to command his own ship one day if he is to progress further in his chosen career. Andrew is expected to be promoted soon to lieutenant commander and could possibly become a captain in about 18 years' time. The path to the top in the Navy is notably slow. Some sources believe that Andrew could be thinking of devoting his life to the Navy, perhaps even aiming to become admiral, I always want to say admirable, admiral of the fleet one day. But this theory has to be balanced with information from the palace, which suggests that Andrew might leave active service for a desk job at Whitehall. This could happen if circumstances changed within the royal family, and it was felt that Andrew would be needed to undertake more royal duties. Because of his position, Andrew's contract with the Navy is open-ended. Although he is more than willing to serve his country as a sailor prince, he could one day be recalled to serve us simply as a member of the royal family. For the moment, the Duchess is happy to perform many engagements alone. This summer, Britain's newest royal couple will set forth on their first major tour abroad to Canada with the Queen Mother. They have volunteered for the trip to help her with a program which may prove arduous as she nears her 87th birthday. It will be a welcome return trip for Andrew, who spent a while in Canada as a sixth former. It's Andrew makes his debut in the Lords and finds his love nest. The Duke and Duchess of York have finally found a honeymoon home. They are to rent the luxurious 10-bedroom Chidduck Manor near Lynn Regis, Dorset. The new royal love nest is just 20 miles from the Portland Naval Base, where Andrew is due to start a 2-year course in helicopter warfare. The stately home boasts an outdoor swimming pool, is set in 30 acres of well-kept rolling grounds, and even has its own Catholic church alongside. Andrew and Sarah will not be moving in immediately. The grand house is undergoing extensive renovation inside and out. But when it has had a facelift, it is estimated the 2-story Regency property will be worth around £350,000. Mrs. Angela Warren, whose house overlooks the estate, said, "My husband and I are both looking forward to when they move in. But I was a bit surprised when I heard the news. As it isn't a very attractive house, the brickwork looks rather grubby." The Regency Manor House is being lent by its owner, Mr. Charles Weld. A lease has not yet been agreed. The house was put on the market as being for sale or rent, but has now been withdrawn. Mr. Wells, a wealthy bachelor, is financial director of Profile magazine. The deal to borrow the manor house appears to be the ideal solution. It eases the pressure to find a permanent home and solves the prince's problem of working at Portland and living in London. It is understood the couple will use Chidduck Manor for the duration of Prince Andrew's service with 702 Naval Air Squadron, probably about 2 years. Despite being described by neighbors as a rather unappealing house, Andrew and Sarah looked round it themselves and decided it was ideal. Palace officials said they were looking for something small and convenient. Princess Alexandra in Richmond, above. And the Duchess of Kent opens the Scarborough Hospital new Phase 1 development. Time for a chat with a pensioner. The Duchess is patron of Age Concern. when she opened the Benwell Day Centre at Sunbury-on-Thames. Left, the 185-year-old manor house near the tiny village of Chidok, which has been rented by the Duke and Duchess of York. For 2 years, a period that covers Prince Andrew's tour of duty as second-in-command of the Helicopter Warfare Division at 702 Naval Air Squadron at Portland, 15 miles away. Far right. The Duchess of Gloucester at a London engagement. Roll up for the royal ripoffs. Top People's glossy magazine, Harper's and Queen, have earned a palace rebuke for using pictures of members of the royal family in a pre-Christmas jewelry promotion. It's the latest example of the world of commerce cashing in without consent on the royals. Since the Lord Chamberlain's office approved certain items as royal wedding souvenirs last summer, other businesses have been quick to reap lucrative rewards from unapproved goods or suggested connections with the royal family. A spate of Fergie and Andy goods has included t-shirts, sweaters, and even garden gnomes. A menswear shop was ticked off recently for using a Prince Andrew dummy in the window, and the palace, on Sarah's express instructions, issued a firm denial that she had ever attended a private clinic for hypnosis. I don't believe that for a second. I bet she did. The Duchess's prompt action may have nailed that lie, but other businesses continue to make a mint out of the royal family. An extremely ugly royal chess set, costing over £60, is advertised as capturing the warmth and charm of the royal family in gentle caricature and irresistible style. Some companies suggest royal connections by their brand name. Examples include royal yachts, men's toiletries, and Highgrove delicatessen products. It all adds up to an expensive royal ripoff. I would love to see that chess set. This month's birthdays. Prince Edward celebrates his 23rd birthday on March 10, and following his resignation from the Royal Marines, will be looking forward to his involvement with the National Youth Theatre. The other royal birthday in March is the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester's youngest child, Lady Rose Victoria Brigitte Louise Windsor, who will be 7 on March 1. The royal family's favourite organist, Sir John Thalben Bell, died in London in January, aged 90. Sir George, the first organist to win a gold disc, was knighted after a campaign led by the Queen Mother and Prince Charles. The Duchess of York is in for a busy time in the art world. Sarah is to become patron of the Dulwich College Art Gallery, just weeks after she agreed to be patron of the Tate Gallery Foundation, which is dedicated to seeking funds for major projects. Both the Tate and the Dulwich are highly delighted with the Duchess's decision to get involved. Princess Anne has won the Variety Club's International Humanitarian Award for her work as president of the Save the Children Fund. She was chosen from 15 nominees put forward by Variety Clubs worldwide. The Princess of Wales has been given the right to drive sheep across London Bridge and set up her own market stall. These privileges come as part of an award to Diana of the status of honorary freeman announced by the City of London Corporation. The Queen's rates bill at Balmoral will be slashed by £3 a year under the new community charge plan for Scotland, timely as the annual subscription at Sandringham Women's Institute, where the Queen and the Queen Mother poured tea at the January meeting, has just rocketed from £5 to £5.60. Gasp. Sarah's eye for a bargain. The Duchess of York has not lost her taste for a bargain since joining the royal family. Sarah, who used to work at an art gallery before her marriage, joined visitors to a London art exhibition and showed she was still as enthusiastic as ever. Touring the art stands with her former boss, collector William Drummond, Sarah still managed to see things in watercolor pictures that her mentor had missed. "She hasn't changed at all," he said. "She is still as confident and enthusiastic as ever." And Sarah urged potential buyers to explore as widely as possible in the hunt for a good buy. The old collectors accumulated vast hoards of wonderful things when good drawings cost a few pounds, or even a few shillings, she said. Now that thousands of people buy drawings to decorate their homes and enrich their lives, popular enthusiasm has driven up prices to a frightening extent. However, there are still bargains to be found, and fun to have in the search for them. Diana gets a sign. The Princess of Wales has learned her name in a sign language. She was given the unusual greeting by 17-year-old Meryl Delgatti from Walthamstow, East London, during a visit to a school for the deaf and blind. Meryl passed her hand back over her hair, as though smoothing it down, and when the princess asked the sign's meaning, she was told Diana. Children at the Deaf-Blind Teaching Center at Whitefield School, Walthamstow, invented their own word for the name Diana, after the Princess of Wales' distinctive golden locks. Now it is taught to all the children coming to the school. And Diana used a few silent words of sign language herself during the visit. She was presented with flowers by youngsters Kelly Smith, 11, and Rajwan Tahir. Kneeling down to receive the flowers, she smiled, touched her nose, and made a gesture with her right hand. The message meant "thank you" for the flowers, and delighted the two children. The Albert Memorial Hall, built by the grieving Queen Victoria as a lasting testimony to her love for her consort, needs a $7 million facelift. The main reason for the work, a report has revealed, is that the monument designed by Sir Gilbert Scott was jerry-built when it was erected in the 1860s. The girl done brilliant. Those of us who consider Princess Anne among the most interesting members of the royal family were not disappointed when HRH appeared on television to mark the 200th edition of the BBC's panel game, A Question of Sport. Apart from helping Emlyn Hughes' team to victory over the opposition led by former England rugby captain Bill Beaumont, the princess joined in the flow of banter that is part and parcel of such a program. Emlyn, the former Liverpool and England soccer captain, is an exuberant extrovert with a reputation for throwing his arms all over the place. It used to be his legs in his playing days, sometimes round his team members when they cope with a particularly difficult question. The prize chairman, David Coleman, was obviously on the edge of his seat should Mr. Hughes start hugging the royal guest. He came close on several occasions, though the royal handbag was always there as a deterrent. In all, it was a merry half-hour with Anne confirming that she is a down-to-earth individual with the ability to cope with most situations, even Emlyn Hughes going over the ball, figuratively. As her team captain might have said, "The girl done brilliant." The Prince and the Panda. In our January issue, we reported on Prince Philip's less controversial Chinese visit when, as president of the World Wildlife Fund, he visited several nature reserves and managed to get to see a panda. This picture from the New China Picture Agency shows the prince at the Wolong Nature Reserve. Who leaked that letter? One of Prince Philip's favorite charities is to get an unexpected windfall of nearly £25,000 after an appalling breach of confidence by Britain's best-selling newspaper. A furious Prince Philip was forced to fall back on the highly unusual resort of taking legal action after the Sun newspaper printed the content of a confidential letter written by the Duke to the Commandant General of the Royal Marines. The letter, strictly private, was a moving account of the Duke's feelings about Prince Edward's decision to quit the Marines. He detailed his own response, how all of the senior members of the royal family counseled Edward on the consequences of his action, and outlined the very difficult decision his son had now to make about his future. But within a fortnight of the letter being sent from the royal residence at Sandringham in Norfolk, and delivered to Whitehall by special messenger, a copy was delivered to the Sun. Astonished by the publication of a private letter that had no justifiable public interest, the Duke instructed royal solicitors Ferrer and Co. to act, and within 24 hours the newspaper had agreed to make the charity donation, admitting it was guilty of a breach of confidence. Some observers feel, however, that although the Duke may have proved a point of principle, he has done little to deter newspapers from acting in a similar manner, should the opportunity arise. Although £25,000 may sound like a lot of money, to a company that makes a £2 million profit every week, it is small beer indeed. Some royal aides feel that by taking the matter to court, by openly criticizing the newspaper, and by leaving them with a bill for costs and exemplary damages that would have run into hundreds of thousands of pounds, the son may have been more chastened. Sadly, that same organization has fallen foul of the royal solicitors for a breach of confidence before, and made a £4,000 charity donation by way of apology. Yet, when it came to the Duke's letter, and a second breach, they had little hesitation in breaking the rules again. So strong was the royal family's sense of outrage that a joint police and Ministry of Defense investigation has been launched to find out exactly who managed to copy the letter and give it to the newspaper. Queen Mother photo finish at Windsor. The Queen Mother has given her first formal interview at Windsor Racecourse. The interviewer was former champion national hunt jockey Terry Biddlecombe. Central Television are making a documentary film about royal owners and their horses with Mr. Biddlecombe as narrator, and borrowed the red room in the racecourse's main grandstand and dressed it as if it were a room at Clarence House. Then the Queen Mother, who had 3 runners that afternoon, all placed but none of them winners, sat down for a half-hour chat with the former champion jockey. She was absolutely marvelous, said the film's producer, Jerry Harrison. She talked freely about her love for national hunt racing and her own horses. We brought down some nice armchairs and a tapestry to make the red room look more suitable. The producer is bowled over by the Queen Mother's performance. She put off a visit to a hospital in December so that the film crew could go ahead and capture her trip to Saxon House. Trainer Fulk Wallen's stables, Folky, and she waited around in the snow at Sandringham while the crew changed cameras and film. The hour-long documentary is scheduled to be screened nationwide on the eve of the Grand National. I'll see if I can find that on YouTube, and I'll link it in the description if I can find it. Of Peas, Planks, and Princesses. The Princess of Wales has been sniping at herself again by using her practiced style of making other people feel at ease. The princess has learned that most people, and particularly children, are overawed when they meet her face to face. So she immediately tries to make them feel more comfortable with an off-the-cuff remark. None more so than when she had met a 14-year-old patient at a Tadworth Court hospital in Surrey for chronically sick, handicapped, and terminally ill children. She turned down an invitation to try her hand at a question or two from the best-selling board game Trivial Pursuit, saying, "No thanks, I'm as thick as a plank." Princess Margaret will follow the Queen to China. The princess has accepted an invitation from the Chinese government, and the week-long visit will take place in May. The princess is hoping that her children, Lord Linley and Lady Sarah Armstrong-Jones, will accompany her. While the princess on her own... Back to Of Peas, Planks, and Princesses. While the princess, on her own admission, did not manage to pass any O-levels at school, she is extremely bright, but tends to do herself down in a bid to make others feel less uncomfortable. In the past, she has described herself as having a brain the size of a pea, and when in Italy she nearly bumped her head, she shrugged off Prince Charles's warning to be more careful by replying, "Why, there's nothing in it anyway." Diana's back pays the price. The Princess of Wales, on a recent visit to a body shop, let slip a royal secret. She suffers, like millions of us, from a bad back. Diana has been seen grimacing and pinching the small of her back for some months, and the trouble could lie behind her occasional tiredness on foreign tours. It seems that poor posture, trying to disguise her height with a slight stoop, and picking up her children the wrong way, have contributed to the problem. A physiotherapist has been visiting the princess at Kensington Palace, giving her treatment and exercises to cure the damage. The female physiotherapist first took along a life-size plastic spine to pinpoint the dangers and firm warnings against her carrying either William or Harry around balanced on one hip. This throws the body out of line. Oh, yeah, anyone who's had a child or two, that's what happens. This habit Diana picked up years ago when she worked in a London kindergarten, and she has been repeatedly photographed holding her children on her hip, as so many mothers do. Additionally, she is so tall, the princess often has to bend down to talk to people. Whenever she can, you may have noticed that in some photographs she squats alongside people to avoid further niggling backache. Sir Matthew Farrer, the Queen's private solicitor, faced a minor dilemma when the royal family instructed him to take action against the Sun newspaper over the publication of Prince Philip's letter. Among Sir Matthew's other clients is the Sun. Okay, let's stop there, because this is really just seeing if it works. It's quite blurry. It's dark in here. I think what I'll do is I'll try it again tomorrow, but I'll do it at the desk, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, thank you so much for being with me, and I will see you very soon.